Movies like Interstellar treat time as a dimension you can move through just like space. In Interstellar, the main character can physically move through his daughter's past. The problem with this is that motion is literally defined as a movement over time. The concept is a paradox in itself. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Universe All. You might have seen the headline recently, Scientists Turn Back Time. It sounds like we should start packing our bags for a trip to the past, but hold on. Before we try to buy a ticket to the past, let's actually break down what's going on here. What did those scientists really do? And is time travel the real deal or just a fun movie concept? First, let's get into the nitty-gritty of time versus space. Think about how you move in a room. You can go forward, backward, right, left, up or down. You have complete freedom of movement. You can walk to the kitchen, then walk back to the living room, and it's easy. But what about time? You are on a one-way trip, stuck moving forward at a constant rate, 1 second per second. It's a bit frustrating, isn't it? Our brains want the same freedom with the time that we have with space, and that's exactly what makes the idea of time travel appealing to us. You've probably heard of a guy named Albert Einstein. His theory of relativity completely changed our understanding of the universe. He told us that time and space aren't separate things. They are woven together into a single four-dimensional fabric called space-time. It has 3 dimensions for space and 1 dimension for time. But even within this amazing framework, the arrow of time still points in a single forward direction. It's like a cosmic conveyor belt that just keeps going. You can move around on the belt, but you cannot get off and go back. Here is where the things getting really tricky. Any scientific theory, even a fictional one, must have a concept of causality. It's a fancy word for a simple idea. A cause must happen before its effect. But backwards time travel completely shatters this fundamental rule. It creates a ton of problem, the most famous of which is grandfather paradox. Imagine you go back in time and prevent your grandparents from ever meeting. If they never meet, your parents never born, and you never born. So if you do not exist, how could you have gone back in time in the first place? It's a classic logical loop that will make your head spin, and it's a major reason why backwards time travel is considered impossible. It gets even worse. There's a concept called the butterfly effect. The world is a giant, chaotic, interconnected system. Every single event in the past, no matter how small, is part of a massive change that led to the present. A time traveler going back in time and making even the smallest change could have enormous effect on the future. The simple act of changing the past would immediately create a paradox and revealing the very causes of your own existence. So it's not just a matter of don't touch anything, because you couldn't help but touch something. So going backward is pretty much impossible, but what about traveling forward in time? Now it's a completely different story. It doesn't break causality because you are not changing the past, you are just getting to the future faster than everyone else. There are a couple of ways this could theoretically happen. first is a bit mundane. You could freeze a person and then wake them up at a later date. This isn't breaking the rules of physics, it's just stretching them out by putting the effect, waking up, much later than the cause, going to sleep. It's not exactly jumping through time, but it gets you there. The second way is much more exciting and is rooted in Einstein's theory. The faster you move, the slower time slows down for you relative to those standing still. This is called time dilation. So if you could travel at a speed close to the speed of light, time would pass much more slowly for you. You could leave the Earth for what feels like a few months. Then, when you return, decades or even centuries could have passed on Earth. You would have traveled into the future. We have real-world proof of this happening with GPS satellites that need their clocks adjusted because of their high speed relative to us on ground. It's a small difference, but it proves the concept works. Maybe you ask, if backward time travel is so full of problems, why do we see it in so many movies? Hollywood has to get creative to make the plots work. They often use different narrative devices to get around the causality problem, even if they aren't always logically consistent. Some storytellers used alternate timelines. In movies like Back to the Future, suggested that when you go back to the past and change something, you create a brand new separate timeline. The original timeline is safe and your actions only affect the new one. Some directors used closed-loop timelines, like what we see in Harry Potter and The Prisoner of Azkaban. This movie depicts a single, consistent timeline. A time traveler who goes back to the past was always there. The future self has to follow a script and do exactly what's necessary to create the future they came from. It's a logical puzzle that eliminates free will and creates a tightly constructed causal loop. Another way is to consider time as a dimension of a space. Movies like Interstellar treat time as a dimension you can move through, just like space. In Interstellar, the main character can physically move through his daughter's past. The problem with this is that motion is literally defined as a movement over time. The concept is a paradox in itself.
Dollars? Translate the data into Morse and feed it to me.
So is time travel a real thing? Backward time travel is scientifically and logically impossible. It's a fun concept, but the paradoxes it creates are just too big to solve. But traveling forward to the future, that's not just science fiction, it's a real-world possibility based on Einstein's theories of relativity. So while you can't go back and ace that test or buy one stock, you could theoretically take a trip to the future. Now, as for those scientists who turned back time, they did something incredible with quantum particles, but it wasn't time travel in the way we've been talking about. It's a stepping stone, a hint at some of the weird possibilities of the universe. But we are still a long way off from building a real-life DeLorean. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Science Simplified. What other mind-bending science concepts should we tackle next? Let me know in the comments below.